Hello and welcome to the Coach Your Kids Right podcast. I am Skip LaCour. I'm so glad you are joining me. Hey, in this podcast, I want to talk about should you have your child, your young child, like this Coach Your Kids Right podcast is for the parents of children 5 to 8 years old. So the question would be, should you have your young child work out with weights? Even if they're light ones, should they work out with weights? Or any other special exercises that you can do to help them excel in sports. All right. Develop the confidence by doing well in sports. Can you help that out? Is there something you should know about weight training, incorporating that in, or any special exercises that are not specific to the sport, like hitting a baseball, throwing a baseball, kicking a soccer ball, a certain stroke, right? Shooting free throws, dribbling, right? What can you do besides those specific sports drills to enhance your child's athletic performance? And so when it comes to weightlifting, because of my background as a bodybuilder, right, and the way I look still, and my wife, she was a former fitness figure competitor back in the day. So we're really fit now that we're a little bit older still and removed from competing, many years for both of us. Right, we get asked that question a lot. They see our kids. Well, I don't necessarily see it, but they see that, wow, they're really fit. They're really muscular. All right. So I get asked, hey, when should they start? When should you start weight training? Do I believe that weight training stunts your growth? Well, so obviously I know the benefits of working out. I work out pretty much almost in some capacity every single day. I do a lot of weight training. I look forward to the day that I can go to the gym. They got to be 13 years old to, work out and teach my kids what I know in the formal type of training that way. Look forward to those days in the gym, where I've spent 34 years to show them. But I'm in no hurry. Just say, so my personal plan and what I've asked is that, no weight training. I don't necessarily know. I think that's an old school way of thinking that it stunts your growth. But even with my background, I was never, pushing my kids or wanted to hurry that process up. But as far as weight training goes, basic push-ups, they still really can't do push-ups almost at, and I know that they're younger kids, but my kids, at 9 and 10 and a half, the kind of push-ups, they're not real productive. That isn't something that I even push-ups, right? But I did for upper body strength, a 10-pound medicine ball, small little, doing chest passes back and forth. I think that type of functional weight training like that, I think that's really helped them in basketball and upper body strength. It's more of a practical weight training type of thing. I've thought a lot about their legs and just doing lunges. I've had them do lunges, walking lunges with the 5-pound dumbbells, right? Even kids at that age, don't do lunges very well. So even with my experience, weight training, very limited. I'm not sure. I mean, when I was young, but not as young as, kids, 5 to 8, I did weight training on a course. I kind of fell in love with it just for a short period of time, like when I was 12 or so. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but my dad was 6'3", my brother 6'3", and, I was at 5'11", right? So did it stunt my growth? I was definitely always shorter than my brother, but I don't know. But I really hit the weights in that time period. But that's anecdotal. I'm not quite sure. But, so, I mean, if you are going to do weights, I really think that was beneficial. The 10-pound medicine ball, throwing that back and forth. I think shooting, the strength, the distance of shooting, certainly for both my son and my daughter, and I really think in hitting that stuff too. So that, I guess that is weight training, but it's not formal circuits or anything like that. The St. John brothers, two of them are pro football players. They all played at major colleges. I know his dad, he was Mr. Universe. And so now they're NFL football players. They'll take them videos back when they were younger. And I'm not sure about 5 or 8, but they were lifting weights. And if it was PVC pipe, doing workouts very, very young. I'm not sure if it was quite as young as 8, but, they turned out to be professional athletes. All right. But I will say this. Footwork drills, can't get enough footwork drills for speed. A ladder work, again, that's not weight training when I get asked the question most. I think that people are a little surprised that, my take is just forget about the weightlifting, the weight training to be better in sports. But I do think a lot of ladder work and footwork, regardless of what sport, I don't care if it's baseball, that is very helpful for their confidence and their overall athletic performance. And I will say one other thing, because a lot of people, see my kids as being muscular. And like I said, besides playing sport, whatever muscular development would be genetics or them just playing regular sports. But here's one thing too, and I don't know what to compare how you eat at home and what kind of shape and how much body fat you, your wife, or you and your husband have, and what kind of example that you set with your food, your knowledge of nutrition, how important that is to you, and that's up for you to decide. But obviously, with the lifestyle that we lived in the past, it kind of carries over, even though we're busy parents, and what our body looks like isn't quite as important as it was there. Important, but not that important. All right. We just must have cleaner eating habits. We might be eating a lot more healthy than the average person, but I don't really know what the average person does. So we're fit looking, we're lean, and our kids are lean. Now, again, we don't put them on diets or whatever. And as a matter of fact, I think they eat a lot of probably too much garbage food. So again, I don't know if it's genetic, but when you are lean, and your kids are lean, it gives this illusion of all this muscularity. Not that you're bigger, not all this muscle has developed, but it just looks like it because you see the rounded off shoulders and the leg definition and the shape of the legs, the leaner you are. Again, we do watch what we eat more than you. Not quite sure of that. Could be genetics. But when you are lean, you'll look muscular. So topic that it's worth looking into. I'm sure you've at least thought about that or will. You'll be asked. You'll wonder some other kids. So that's my take. All right, so that's going to do it for this Coach Your Kids Right podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, reach out if you have any questions or if there's any topics you want to talk about, any comments, any suggestions that you have for the podcast, let me know.